What is going on, guys? This is SparkNuts here, and today we're going to be talking about two different classes from our last video. Today is going to be Mage and Warrior. Of course, this is the same day as the others, but I'm getting them all together. So let's get to the Mage buffs, nerfs, all this Mage fun stuff, because I know the two classes most of you guys want to see nerfed and punched that you hate are Mages and Warriors, which coincidentally are my two favorite classes that I play all the time. So, let's get to the first thing on here, and it is Invocation. Invocation now removes Evocation cooldown and reduces its channeling time and duration by 50%. A completed Evocation now grants 15% increased damage. It was 25% for 1 minute, and it also was 40 seconds. After an evocation is completed, passive mana regeneration is reduced by 50% only while Invoker's energy is active. So that's a change for that spell. I've never really used Invocation anyway, but I'm sure a lot of you PvEers will know more about that. Leave a comment down below on what you think on that specific thing right there as well. Greater Invisibility now has a 90-second cooldown, was 2.5 minutes, so that's a bit of a buff. That's a good, nice change for that. I know it removes 2 dots, so who knows, that could maybe bring some people to want to use it in PvP. Frostbolt cast by mirror images now deal 50% more damage. I think this buff is needed. Mirror images were pretty much just a way to get yourself de-targeted. That's it. Improved counterspell has been removed. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Wow, that hurt. That hit me low. That hit me low. Glyph of Fire Blast has been replaced with a Glyph of Inferno Blast. Glyph of Inferno Blast causes damage over time effects spread by Inferno Blast to spread to one additional target. I can understand that. They could never really balance the Fire Blast glyph anyway, especially with the Deep Freeze and Frost Bomb thing, so they just took it out of the game in general. Blazing Speed can now be triggered at will. That's a nice change. Cold Snap now heals the mage for 15% of its maximum health when used. Was 30%, so that's a 50% nerf on that particular spell. And me personally, I liked having a 30% mage heal. It was nice, considering we didn't really have much else other than our evocation. So that's gonna hurt. Ice Flows now has a 45-second cooldown, was 1 minute. I don't really think that's going to change too much. I still think people are going to use Scorch. I know they're trying to make this more viable. Scorch now, the mana has been increased on it. It's now 3.5% of base mana, and it was 0.1%, so it's going to be a lot of... You can't Scorch spam anymore, most likely. We'll have to see whenever the PTR goes live and these changes are up there. I'm curious to see how this is going to play out, because that 3.5% of base mana, I don't know, scares me a little bit. Arcane Blast mana cost has been increased to 1.6. It was 1.5. Not really a substantial change. For Frost, Frostbolt now deals 24% more damage, but its debuff no longer increases subsequent Frostbolt damage. Water Elemental, Freeze no longer does damage and only provides Finger of Frost on a successful freeze. That's pretty much what all mages used for anyway, was just to snare a target and get your Fingers of Frost, so I don't really care the fact that it doesn't do too much damage or doesn't do any damage. But I will say, for the most part, they have nerfed mages more than I have seen on any expansion thus far. That brings me to question what Blizzard's new favorite class is. Well, let's check out the Warrior stuff and see if the Warrior changes are any better. Hopefully I won't cry. Let's see. Shockwave now has a 40-second cooldown, was 20 seconds. Striking 3 or more targets will reduce its cooldown by 20 seconds. That's actually cool, and I will admit openly that Shockwave was a little OP to be a 20-second cooldown. Striking 3 or more targets to reduce it by 20 seconds is also a pretty cool idea. That means in BGs, when I Shockwave a lot of people, I'll be able to do it more often, so I'm cool with that. Second Wind now causes a warrior that has been reduced to 35% health or lower to regenerate 2% of their health per second, and it was 3%, and generate 15 rage over 10 seconds, was 20 rage. That's a cool nerf. Second Wind was a little overpowered, so I think 2%, taking a percent off of that, it's not going to be a game changer. I don't think people are going to swap specs over that particular thing. However, it'll probably be noticeable. 1% of your total health is quite a bit for a healing tick, so we'll have to see how that plays out. Warbringer seems to be buffed. Warbringer now reduces the target's movement speed by 50% for 15 seconds, 8 seconds in PvP, in addition to its other effects, which is a stun. So that's actually pretty neat. Shield Barrier now scales appropriately, 10% less effective. Oh, 10% less efficiently with attack power. We got it. It took me a minute, but we got it. Stormbolt now deals 125% weapon damage, was 100%, so that's a cool little buff. Enrage regeneration now costs us 30 rage, it was 60, so they're trying to make that more appealing. I still don't think a lot of people are going to go with it, but we'll have to see how that goes. Glyph of Death from above no longer increases the damage dealt by Heroic Leap. That's okay. I can live with that. It's not like I have really just killed people with Heroic Leap. Now this is the change that... Oh, this change kind of scared me when I first read it, but the more I've read it, it's cool. Arms. Taste for Blood has been completely redesigned. It now causes the warrior to gain 2 stacks of overpower, a maximum of 5 stacks, when Mortal Strike deals damage to the target when it dodges, or when Mortal Strike just does damage. It no longer interacts with Heroic Strike, and now equals... Oh, and now you can get it at level 20 instead of level 50. Slam has been increased to 220% weapon damage. It was 190%. I'm liking that. They probably did that to compensate with the no longer Taste for Blood Heroic Strike base damage. Protection, the base damage of Shield Slam and Revenge has been increased to 150%, but these abilities now scale approximately 10% less efficiently with attack power. So I want to get back to this Taste for Blood change for a moment, because since I am a warrior, I have a few thoughts on this. For the Taste for Blood, I feel like it's going to get nerfed, because that's kind of overpowered to be able to hit somebody with a Mortal Strike and get 2 overpowers. Especially if you can stack it up to 5 times. I can see rogues being upset about this, because you can just, boom, 5 straight hits. Whenever they pop evasion, you're going to hit them 5 times. So, I don't know. We'll have to see how this plays out. But this was the Mages and Warriors buffs nerfs for 5.2 on the PTR. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. And also, at the end of this video, you'll be able to click what other class you want to go to. So if you didn't get to see the class that you wanted to see today, you'll be able to see it by clicking one of the class icon thingies on the screen. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and as always, this is Spark Nuts, and keep the fire burning.